Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC Football Podcast. My name's Joey Weaver. He's Mike McDaniel. Mike, week 14 in the books. What was the dumbest thing you saw in college football this weekend?
It most certainly wasn't Duke making the ACC title game, was it?
I mean, we'll get into that. That's pretty dumb, but man, there was a lot. I felt like this was a great weekend of college football, basically just showing its hindquarters. I'm not gonna really truly cuss here in the first minute of the show.
Show that ass.
This is the sport. Really just what a weekend, man. Just putting it all on Front Street of how screwed up this whole thing is.
It started on Friday night with Steve Sarkisian calling it, quote, a disservice to the sport, end quote, if Texas was not in the college football playoff despite losing to now, let me update the record, 4-8 Florida.
That was hours after Georgia Tech sold its rivalry game to corporate overlords Invesco QQQ, the Atlanta Gridiron Classic.
A fair
because
point.
They had to.
Yeah.
And again, that's the tip of the iceberg here. Like we really saw a whole gamut with the Lane Kiffin thing and all the stupid tiebreaker nonsense that we're going to get into. There is a lot to talk about, at least on the periphery of some of these games. Games-wise, it was maybe less interesting than we would have hoped for from a rivalry weekend. But again, lots to talk about there.
Yeah,
Mike, we're live, youtube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. It is a couple minutes before 11 o'clock on the East Coast on Monday, December the 1st. We got some people in the chat with us. Good to see y'all with us. We got a couple of new first-timers. Welcome. Good to have you. We typically would do this show on Sunday nights. Unfortunately, last night was some parental commitments, we'll say. We're not able to make that happen.
Yeah, my kid's been sick for like 5 days. So I texted Joey and said, hey, can we do this Monday instead? Because I was having trouble putting him to sleep. And I had no idea what was to come, which was essentially a co-sleeping situation with my wife and my 3-year-old last night, to the point where he was just coughing in my ear all night. So I slept like zero. My wife had to leave the room in the middle of the night to go elsewhere, sleep elsewhere. It was not, I'm giving him cough medicine. It's just a mess. Yeah. I'm exhausted. I told you, Joey, we should have, I told you before we hit record tonight that we should have just recorded last night, because I could have gone to bed at 8 p.m. this evening and I would have slept like 12 hours.
Mike is on fumes here, but we're here for the people, and we appreciate people being here for us as well.
Yep.
You can also go find us.
Can we start? Do what you were going to say, and then I'm going to bring up a comment that's just outrageous already. I'm already pissed off.
I'm just going to say you can also go find this on audio format, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all those good places. Hit the subscribe button. Please do. If you used to have us and can't find us anymore, go find us. There's probably a new feed out there after occurrences from a month or so ago. But anyways, please go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say we're on audio most of the time. This is and we're on audio as much as we possibly can be. We literally post every episode audio, but some people try to prevent us from doing so. Got a comment from 220 Greenwich. You better give Miami their flowers after a year of backhanded compliments. When did we do that?
I mean, I'm never shy about giving backhanded compliments to Miami, but we'll get into this. I'm not afraid to admit that Miami is probably objectively the best team in the ACC this year. And pretty much has been all year. They lost a couple stupid games, which they seem to do every year.
Which might cost them a playoff spot, by the way.
Who's arguing that? But yeah, also might cost them a playoff spot. But I mean, the best defense, and other than a couple of games where Carson Beck, kind of threw up all over himself, that offense has the ability to be pretty lethal as well. Like, best team in the ACC. What do you want me to say?
I've been clear about it for a few weeks. I was like, hey, we're doing this whole thing where Miami is like pretty clearly not going to make the ACC title game, but they're the best team in the ACC.
Yeah, because in the ACC and really in conferences anyways these days, being the best team is not how you make the conference championship. On that note, do we want to get into a Rhoback rapid recap so that we can
Let's do it.
Get into everything else? The people here in the chat will probably notice we do not have producer Scott with us here tonight. He is busy I believe it's a Patriots game right
he's
now.
He's at Gillette. Yeah, he's at Gillette.
There you go.
He took a picture outside the stadium next to the Tom Brady statue, and he sent it to me because I'm a very big Patriots fan. He sent that to me, and I asked him if that was the Dwayne Wade statue, which got a good laugh out of Scott.
Yeah,
one of the ugliest statues ever erected.
For clarity, if I'm not mistaken, Scott's a Giants fan. He's not there for the Patriots. He's there for the Giants.
They're putting up a fight.
Are they? I saw the attempted field goal from Younghoe Koo, and it's not pretty.
It's gone a little better for him since then, but hasn't been fantastic.
There you go. All right. So anyways, we don't really have a timer. We're probably not going to need one. Again, a lot of these games were not that interesting on the field, but we will do this. Let's do a Rhoback rapid recap. As a reminder, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at Rhoback.com. They've got all sorts of fantastic performance wear, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, joggers, shorts, any sort of athleisure wear you want. Go check out the game day collection that has stuff from basically every school in the ACC. Go check it all out. Rhoback.com. We love ours. You'll love yours. Go ACC20 at checkout for 20% off. Please keep using that too, even if there are other sales going on. Obviously, as we get into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever else they got going on for the Christmas season, it's all helpful for us if you use that code for us. So we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, please do.
Yep. Rhoback rapid recap, Mike. You ready?
Yeah, almost. We told Scott we would do timestamps, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, let me.
Tell Scott a lot of things, which
all right,
we're not always the best at following up on, but you're good about timestamps. I appreciate that.
I'm good. I'm good about timestamps. I'm so good about it that I almost forgot to do them. So I'm just going to pull up a Google Doc real quick, and we'll just say it's around 7 minutes for the.
I think that works. I'm going to assume that this sound is at the right volume, and if not, we'll adjust and go from here. This whole production is a mess when Scott's not here, but that's why we need him, is to make us look and sound good. But we're gonna do our best here.
Yep.
All right. Rhoback rapid recap of Week 14, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Start on Friday, number 4, Georgia.
Cut the music. Cut. Yeah, you're.
That's real loud.
That was good to the point where I literally couldn't hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try this one more time. It's maybe a little light. All right. There we go. Better. Let's settle there.
That's better.
Georgia 16, Georgia Tech 9. The game that nobody really expected here. Everyone was kind of ready for some fireworks, and the total was 59.5, and we ended up with 25 points and a bit of a rock fight, an ugly game. Georgia Tech unable to finish some drives, settles for a bunch of field goals. Georgia Tech's defense shows up in a big way in this game that nobody really was expecting here after what they had looked like for basically the entire month of November. It's another year, Mike. Another year. And, same old story as it relates to the outcome of that game.
Never really felt like Georgia Tech was winning this game. Watching it. They hung around. Defense, I thought, gave him a puncher's chance, but nothing in the way of offense in this one for the Jackets.
Yeah, tough scene for Haynes King and the boys on offense. Again, number of missed opportunities that would love to have back. They'll get one more chance in a bowl game later. We'll go to Saturday. This is in order of what they're on my screen. Number 9, Notre Dame 49, Stanford 20. The Cardinal, kept playing and scored some points. They've got a head coach, by the way. We'll get into that. But overall,
good choice, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's to say? Notre Dame was up 35-3 at halftime, and that tells the entire story.
The game was over when it was scheduled.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 12, Miami, 38. Number 22, Pittsburgh, 7. Really impressed with Miami, honestly. For them to go into this spot, and I realize that Pitt, a bit of a body blow situation, a couple games in a row with Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, all that. But for Miami to come in and just put their foot down the way that they did, really impressed. And this is basically all Miami for the final, 20-ish minutes of this game, or 25, 30 minutes of this game.
Yeah, I was impressed with Miami.
Yeah, really, really good from them. Number 18, Virginia, 27, Virginia Tech, 7. The Voodoo has no power over this Virginia team, and probably helps that a bunch of the guys in that roster have never played Virginia Tech before. But who's looked good? Clinch a spot in Charlotte. The The Who's in Charlottesville clinch a spot in Charlotte.
Correct. This was a rent coming due situation in this rivalry. Is what this was.
Yeah. Virginia took the opportunity and laid it on them.
Yep.
Cal 38, number 21 SMU 35. A bit of a what the hell game of the day for the ACC. SMU 2-touchdown road favorite. JKS for Cal was nasty in this game. He was really, really good. Kind of willed that team to a win. 330 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air. SMU dug themselves a hole. I would say couldn't dig out of it, but they did dig out of it. They took the lead late in this game, and then Cal scored one more touchdown to ultimately put themselves up. SMU misses a field goal at the very end that would have tied the game and sent it to overtime. And SMU, with a chance to go to Charlotte, misses out, Mike.
I'll tell you what, that did not help Miami.
Nope. Can't say it did.
No. In a number of ways.
Can't say it did. Louisville 41, Kentucky nothing. Holy hell, Louisville! Where did this come from? Really impressed with this. This is a really good showing from Louisville after a brutal few weeks that they've had. They sent Mark Stoops packing. Kentucky missed the bowl game, and Mark Stoops fired on Sunday, I think, either Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, Sunday night. Yeah,
really good showing from the Cardinals here and a bounce back against a rival.
That's I mean, that's the best type of rivalry game. Beat them so bad they fire their coach.
Yeah. Take that every time.
Yep.
Clemson 28, South Carolina 14. A bit of a ho-hum showing here, but again, a situation where I never really felt like South Carolina was going to threaten to win this game.
No.
It was 17-14 at halftime, but Clemson just owns the second half and wins this game by a couple scores.
A lot of empty calories yards here for South Carolina.
Only 14 points to show for it all. That'll tell you something. Boston College 34, Syracuse 12, and what turned into a very consequential outcome, it turns out.
I mean, who would have thought that a game between Boston College and Syracuse on the Cheeks W would decide who was going to go to Charlotte for the ACC title game, but here we are.
Yeah.
Also, Syracuse team total under, that feeds families, Joey.
Yeah.
Feeds families.
Free money.
Free money.
Syracuse ends up with a shade over 250 total yards of offense against a Boston College defense that has had its problems this year.
Correct.
Duke 49, Wake 32. This was a really good showing for Duke when they had to have it against a local rival. Really good for them. Wake got a lot done on offense, but was not quite able to finish drives, and ultimately it catches up with them here at the end. Duke in a, I would tell you that I think the score looks a little bit more lopsided than this one actually played out on screen, but ultimately Duke the better team and showed it.
It does look like a team that could definitely win the ACC title.
That's just math, Mike.
I mean, they're one of two teams that can do it. So.
There's only two teams I could think of that could win the ACC title this year, and one of them is Duke.
Yep.
Florida 40, Florida State 21. Florida State's done. And
get ready to die, clown. We need that sound.
What a year for Florida State.
We'll have Scott pull that Happy Gilmore sound. That's perfect. That'll be perfect. Yeah. My favorite part of this game was just flipping over and seeing Norvell just exasperated on the sideline.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure it'll get better next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the point where Bud Elliott doesn't want to record Nolecast anymore. That's how bad Florida State is. Yeah, it's like we can't put an investment into it until Florida State decides they're going to put a real investment into their football program. I'm like, damn, you killed Nolecast, like Norvell.
Yeah, we're canceling long-time famous team-specific podcasts because it has gotten that bad in Tallahassee.
Oh man.
Last one, NC State 42, North Carolina 19. North Carolina will not be going to a bowl game. Again, same thing. I'm sure they'll get this figured out in the offseason.
They do have a good recruiting class, but...
All right. We'll see how that goes. Good for NC State putting the foot down here.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Dave Doran, by the way, will be back next year.
There you go. As well, he should be, I think.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't think this is a coaching search market that NC State wanted to get involved in. At the very least, I would say that.
I've always considered you to be one of the longstanding Dave Doran supporters out of the two of us on this podcast. That is one thing I've always thought.
I think he should coach there forever, frankly. And I think I've been pretty consistent about that all the time.
Kind of has.
That's all I got on the Rhoback Rapid Recap, Mike. Once again, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at Rhoback.com. We'd appreciate the people for doing that.
All right. I mean, there were only a couple games that were any good. So which one do you want to start with?
Let's go with the games of consequence here and kind of use that as a jumping off point. I think the most consequential was, the ACC after dark situation. Cal 38, number 21, SMU 35. I was actively like yelling at my TV, trying to will SMU to win this game because of what it meant for the ACC, basically. And again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, especially with the ponies.
Good one.
This one, yeah. So again, Cal gets out to a lead here. They're up 17-7 at halftime, and that includes a missed field goal late in the first half. But JKS just making some throws, had a great game, avoided the mistake, was excellent here. And Kendrick Raphael, by the way, adds 111 yards on the ground. He wasn't super consistent, but he had a number of chunk gains that he had that really added to that total. Jacob DeJesus was great, as he has been for Cal most of this year. I was seeing some stuff on offense. I found myself wondering between the brain trust of Nick Rolovich, the interim head coach, and offensive coordinator Brian Harsin. I was like, are we seeing a couple things that they weren't really allowed to do or try or break out when Justin Wilcox was in the building? Because it was extra creative. They were in their bag for this game.
Riverboat Rolovich, baby.
Yeah. Yep.
Riverboat Nick.
I felt like SMU, there was a little bit of some, I guess what I'll call like a lethargic nature there. They looked a little bit slow. They looked a little bit like they felt like they could just roll their helmets out there and win. And I think that kind of came back to bite them. They really struggled to get going in this game. I mean, they had a long touchdown run pretty early in this one. And then from there, that was the only one of their first like 6 offensive possessions that resulted in anything. So that was kind of the story here was, SMU goes touchdown, 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 touchdown in 4 straight drives, but that didn't start until they were down 24-7.
Right. Yeah. The game started for SMU once they were down 3 scores. And that's the problem, Now that, they got themselves back in it, they took a lead and then it falls apart at the end, obviously. But yeah, lethargic is a great way to put it. They did not come out ready to play. Yeah, clearly. So
didn't look like it.
Yeah, which is surprising.
I get it, late night travel to the West Coast, all that.
You're playing for a chance to go to the conference title, and you'd have a great chance to make the playoff because that would have been a very competitive conference title game between SMU and UVA, between 2 deserving teams to be there. Mm-hmm. But we'll still have that, of course, with Duke. I don't want to. Duke did go 6-2 in the ACC after all.
That's them's the rules. It turns out.
Right. That turns out those are the rules. It's so bad that Nicole Auerbach wants to arbitrarily just put Miami in the conference title game because that's what we should just do. We should just stick them in there.
I like Nicole Auerbach.
I like her a lot. I'm not trying to throw shade at Nicole Auerbach. I like her a lot. She's a very good reporter. She's great for NBC. I'm a huge fan of her and her writing too. Very good writer. Huge fan of her, but I don't get that one at all. I think it's a horrible take. It's not fair to anybody.
Well, and I'd kind of forgotten, and some people made the point of like, well, you can just do the thing that the Big Ten did 5 years ago. It's like, yeah, but we didn't like that when it happened either. So
right. That was during COVID.
Yeah. And that, which was, its own variety of weird anyways.
Yeah.
This was a huge missed opportunity for SMU. And I got to imagine that there has not been a lot of sleep for Rhett Lashley and that staff and some of the leaders of this team, like realizing what the opportunity they had was here. And they just kind of squandered it. A chance to go to their second straight ACC championship game. And again, potentially a playoff bid. Basically, if you just win one game, and instead you kind of got caught sleepwalking, and you got a Cal team with a quarterback who has been a bit of a roller coaster this year. He's had some tough games, but when he's been good, man, he has slayed some giants. I mean, that's the same JKS that we saw beat Louisville here a few weeks, I think.
A lot of Calandria in him.
Yeah. So, I disappointed for SMU. That is a tough end to the season. Obviously, they'll go to a bowl game, but
you're not. Listen, you're not too disappointed. You did text me on Saturday night and said you're going to go full Joker laugh.
Yeah, I'm going to self-immolate like all that.
Yeah,
Let's keep going because I want to get through a couple of these results that resulted in the thing that I want to rant about.
Sure.
A while.
Yep. Yeah. Fine.
All right.
Let's do that. Okay.
Cal 38, SMU 35, and what was actually probably the most interesting game of the weekend for the ACC. Honestly,
I would agree.
Duke 49, Wake Forest 32. This was Duke just taking care of business again here. They were leading basically this entire game. Wake trying to keep up and trying to hang on and just kind of couldn't. Duke was excellent. They moved the ball really well here. Ended up finishing drives really well. Good showing from Duke. And Wake, again, really good year. Don't want to take anything away from them. Just did not have enough in terms of, again, finishing drives. There was a lot of field goals. There were a couple of turnovers here. Like, it was not the cleanest game for them. Again, 4 turnovers specifically, by the way. Going -4 in turnovers in a relatively even matchup is not a great way to win.
Yeah. Turned over on downs, had 4 turnovers. That is a killer. He also had almost 100 yards worth of penalties. So that's kind of where he lost the game.
Yep. Not a clean performance from Wake. Again, feels like an opportunity. They could have won this game if maybe they did clean some things up, but unfortunately they did not. Duke does what they need to do. And, the Manny Diaz defense getting 4 turnovers, something we've seen before.
Yeah, they've been a really good defense all year, right? Yeah.
Something like that.
We'll just
really good defensive performance +4 in turnovers leads to 32 points scored.
We'll just pretend. They had to go 6-2 in the ACC and make it to Charlotte somehow. So we'll just pretend.
Yeah, exactly.
That this was definitely repeatable. By the way, they gave up almost like 500 yards of offense in this game. Now, again, Wake was playing from behind. Some of them are empty calories. I get it, but this was like a banner. It was only a banner performance because you turned him over 4 times.
Yeah. Yep. Robbie Ashford, by the way. I feel like he gets some grief for his passing ability.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been fine as a passer this year. I think he's done okay for Wake.
He's been fine.
Yeah, he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been incredible or anything, but he hadn't been terrible. He's been fine. Darian Mensah, good game here. Yeah, I don't have a ton more on this. Again, this was a relatively like at arm's length kind of game for Duke for basically the entire second half. So really good performance from them. Tough for Wake.
Very tough. Hilarious, though. This is funny, right?
Something like that. Duke 49, Wake Forest 32. Last one that matters here, number 18, Virginia 27, Virginia Tech 7. Again, Virginia had a chance to clinch an ACC championship game spot, and they got it. They jumped out here relatively early. It was 14-0 at halftime. They scored on their opening possession. I think so. We're close to it.
Yep.
Virginia Tech could not move the ball. Really good performance from Virginia's defense in this game. Never really in doubt here. Really good for the Hoos.
Yeah. Rent coming due is how I described it a couple minutes ago. That's just what it was. Virginia's been the better team all year. Virginia Tech totally disinterested in playing offense, really. Drones' stat line's bad, but he's been awful this year. There's no way around it. He's been really, really bad, but also there were a lot of drops. Like, he was hitting guys in the numbers. They were dropping him. Just really, really sloppy performance. You had a missed field goal. You had turnover issues. Like, there was a lot that went wrong here offensively for Virginia Tech. Against the Virginia defense, has been fine, but like, you got to put up a better performance than that offensively. Virginia's defense isn't that good. This was. they're a fine unit defensively, but Virginia Tech, with the way they played offensively, if you just look at the box score, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Kyron Drones, this is the last game we'll ever see him in a Virginia Tech jersey. And I get the sense, Mike, I don't want to speak for you or for other Hokie fans, but I don't get the sense that he'll be badly missed.
That would be, he's one of the worst Virginia Tech quarterbacks in the last 2 decades.
He's a 3-year starter. I think he's gotten worse over 3 years.
Absolutely. He's certainly not gotten better.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, look, Devin Hamilton got here just in time for talk about Virginia beating Virginia Tech.
We got the pictures, Devin.
Yeah. From the field.
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Looks
Huge
like
night for Virginia.
Should have.
Yeah. Who's get their first win?
Devin Hamilton. I absolutely love drones. I bet you do.
Big Kyron Drones guy, that Devin Hamilton.
He said that he also mentioned the field storm was dumb. It was so dumb, in fact, that Virginia isn't even getting fined for it.
It didn't even qualify.
It didn't even really qualify. They're not even getting fined by the ACC for it, which is really funny.
Yep. Yeah, good showing from the Hoos. First win against Virginia Tech since 2019. Only third of this quarter century, if I'm not mistaken. That's
right. Right on the money. Yeah.
Hunter Simons does make a good point. Virginia's defense has been better for the last month plus. They have won some games on defense. We did find out at some point last week, Cam Robinson, I believe their star linebacker, torn ACL, done for the year. We'll see how that affects them moving forward, but in this game, it was not a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
So with that being said, Mike, again, Virginia 27, Virginia Tech 7. That combined with the Miami-Pittsburgh outcome we'll talk about here in a minute, and also somehow the Boston College-Syracuse outcome and the Notre Dame or the NC State-North Carolina outcome. As a result, we have our official ACC championship game matchup. As we've mentioned, it is the number 18 Virginia Cavaliers against the Duke Blue Devils. The Duke Blue Devils, who won a 5-way tiebreaker among teams that are 6-2 in this conference. They are the only one of those 5 6-2 teams that is unranked. They have not won a game against any of the other 4 6-2 teams, nor the Cavaliers, and in fact are 0-2 against those teams so far this year. And yet, they get to go to the ACC championship game. And now I want to say, the frustration that I have here, none of this is directed towards Duke specifically. It's not about the Blue Devils. It's not about Manny Diaz. Take the labels off of it. I am absolutely furious that this is where the conference has gotten. To some degree, this is where the sport has gotten. Is the reason that we have a team in the conference championship who is, by the way, a 5-loss team, is because we got down to the 5th tiebreaker, which was necessary because we have 17 teams in a conference, most of which just don't play each other. You don't have head-to-head. You don't have divisions. You don't have anything easy to go to. And so
no structure.
Because Boston College beat Syracuse now
in a game Duke, that nobody watched.
It was like both teams trying to win their first conference game in 2 months. And that's the reason now that Duke goes to the conference championship game instead of any of the other. I would not have been nearly as upset. I would have been totally fine if Miami, Pittsburgh, SMU, Georgia Tech, any of them had gone. Makes total sense. That would feel like a more, watchable matchup, a less embarrassing outcome for the conference. But instead, now the ACC, Jim Phillips, all of them, you get this egg on your face of, you got a 5-loss team playing for your conference championship. And guess what? They're only a 2.5-point dog, Mike. If they go in there and win that game, the conference might miss the playoff entirely.
And should.
Because this is where we've gotten as a sport, is these stupid media companies make these stupid massive conferences with stupid tiebreakers, stupid scheduling, and stupid rules about how we determine a champion and then who. It is exhausting
Yeah.
It is exhausting. We saw it all come to roost this weekend. The ACC now looks foolish, which not that the ACC is a stranger to looking foolish. Okay, like we love this conference and like we get it, and we know what it is, and there's a reason that we make fun of it. We get it. We've taken it to another level, Mike.
We're in on the joke?
The worst possible outcome for the conference once again has happened, and here we are. Duke 60 minutes away from possibly winning the conference and missing the playoff.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid, 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 stupid.
I agree with everything you just said. The only thing I want to add on, right, is that if Duke wins the conference title, I saw a take by Bud Elliott he's been brought up twice in this podcast already. I saw a take by Bud Elliott that if Duke wins the ACC title, they should actually be in the playoff. I disagree. I disagree. If Duke wins the ACC title, Duke should not be in the college football playoff. This should be, and by the way, I'm seeing Devin Hamilton actually had a question. If Virginia wins, like beats Duke, Miami is not going to get in over Virginia. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions that make it, right, with an automatic qualifying bid.
Right.
Miami is obviously not winning the conference. If Virginia wins, they are obviously a very worthy, they're top 20 team. They are a very worthy conference champion.
Agreed.
And they, a Virginia win would be better than whoever wins the Sun Belt, probably JMU, and whoever wins the American, probably Tulane, I think. I would flip a coin in that one.
Yeah.
Because we're doing the whole interim coach thing there. Well, they might be coaching. I don't know.
I'll get to that in a minute.
2 staffs on their way out. Point being, if Virginia wins, they're in the playoff. They're in the you don't got to worry about it. They're going to be in.
Full stop. If
Duke wins, I don't think the ACC should have a down ballot. Maybe there's a way Miami gets in. We'll figure that out later. But just in this scenario where Miami doesn't look like they're making the playoff. Let's just continue to play that scenario out. If Duke wins the conference title, I don't think the ACC should get any teams in, assuming that Miami can't find a way in. I think James Madison is a Sun Belt champion with how they've played this year, only losses to Louisville. The way that they looked in that game, particularly in the first half, I think JMU would be a worthy choice to get in. And I already think that whoever wins the American is getting in with the G5 spot. I think it's pretty well established they're going to get in over James Madison, assuming that James Madison wins the Sun Belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're really looking at, is it going to be James Madison or is it going to be Duke? I think the potentially really funny scenario that nobody, I put this in my column on SI on Saturday night. I've seen nobody talk about this. I think the way that Duke gets in is you have your American Conference champion, right? You have Duke winning the ACC title game, and then you have Troy upsetting James Madison. And nobody's expecting Troy to upset JMU, but if you look at Troy's resume compared to Duke's, I think Duke actually should get in over Troy. And I think that's how
playoff team.
I think that's how Duke makes college football playoff. Duke
Great
wins,
job,
and then,
everybody.
Then we're going to flip a coin between Duke's resume and Troy's. That's how Duke makes a college football playoff. Nope, everybody's just expecting JMU to roll over Troy, and they probably will, but they play these games for a reason. Yeah. So anyway, I agree with everything you said. This is an absolute joke. It's a joke that's come to this. It's because the conferences got too big. It was a money grab for television to begin with, to have these conference title games. The whole reason they came into existence was for television. And now you're having conference title games that were made for TV, that now you have a matchup that is actually not made for TV. Nobody wants to watch a UVA Duke game in the conference title. They want to watch UVA play literally anybody else. Virginia is I'm a Hokie, guys. And I'm not surprising any of our longtime listeners where I make jokes about UVA and stuff like that, but I feel like I've given them a fair shake, when discussing them on the show. At least I try to. Virginia is a obviously very worthy participant in the conference title game. Yep. They looked like one of the best teams in the ACC all year. They finished the drill against Virginia Tech, blew them out of the stadium.
They're peaking at the right time.
They're peaking at the right time. They played their best football in the month of November. They're a top 20 team. They're a very worthy participant. You could literally put almost anybody else in who was in the like top 5 or 6 over Duke, and it would be a better conference title game, which you already alluded to. So
Agreed.
It's really, really frustrating they got to this point. And then the final thing, Nicole Auerbach, we mentioned it in passing, and it's been getting it's been gaining steam. Like some people were hoping that the ACC would arbitrarily just put Miami in because Miami, eye test wise, and I agree, I think Miami's the best team in the ACC, but they lost a tiebreaker. They're not making it to Charlotte. I'm sorry that it happened that way. Maybe we review the tiebreak rules in the offseason, but really it's just you have Steve Sarkisian talk about Texas not getting in the playoff, being a disservice to the sport. The actual disservice to the sport is the fact that we let these conferences get beyond 15 teams. These conferences now are 17, 18, 20 teams. It's insane. Like, how do you crown an actual conference champion? You don't actually figure out, and some people have talked about this too, and I think it's right. You don't actually find out who the best teams in the country are until you get to a college football playoff. What? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, and I saw that discussion percolating with A&M losing to Texas, and you're like, well, A&M hadn't really played anybody this year. And like, if Oregon lost to Washington, the conversation would have been, oh, well, Oregon didn't really beat anybody this year. It's like, that's because these conferences are getting too big.
Yeah.
Whatever. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, we had the conversation last year about Indiana getting in. It was like, Indiana's 11-1, but they have like one good win. This is stupid.
Yeah.
This is stupid. Like,
yeah.
At the very least, what we used to have in some smaller conferences that had divisions was everyone plays someone head to head, and there's easy tiebreakers there. And again, you can't just get away with playing almost nobody.
Right.
And again, I want to just to reiterate the point. I'm not mad at Duke specifically. Like, you could basically take this conversation and swap in Cal. You could swap in NC State. Pick your 7-5 team in the ACC. It is ridiculous that you've got 5 lost teams in conversations for the conference championship. And some of this is on Duke. It is on Duke. Like, I'm not going to, we talked about they probably outplayed Illinois. That's a good out-of-conference matchup. That's a good Illinois team. You outplayed them. You were sloppy. You lost. No shame in that. You played a Tulane team, which you did steal their quarterback. And, they're probably a playoff team-ish, though, too. So, like, no shame in that. And then you played UConn on the road for reasons and lost that one. There are 3 out-of-conference losses here that make the whole thing look a lot worse. And any one of them can be explained away, but on balance, it's like, really?
Yeah.
One of the things I mentioned, too, on Twitter, Mike, by the way, is so agreed, we can't change the rules and change the tiebreakers this week because we don't like what the outcome was. But I have a proposed solution for what we can do for the tiebreakers next year. You ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Tiebreaker number 1, head-to-head. Did you beat the other team that you're tied with? Tiebreaker number 2, committee rankings. That's it. We're done.
Done.
If there's no head-to-head solution, go to the committee rankings. Is that stupid? Yes. This is also stupid. All of it is stupid. Everything is stupid now. So just pick your flavor of stupid.
Can I let you in on a little secret? The committee rankings, also pretty stupid.
As we have outwardly discussed on this show multiple times.
Also
this year.
Stupid. There's only one time. There's only one time you need to do the committee rankings after the conference title games. That's when you have to do them.
Yeah.
Stop doing them every Tuesday night.
But at the same time, as stupid as those rankings are, they suck less than the 5th level of tiebreakers of who did and did not you play. Basically, like, that is nonsense in this age where you barely play half the conference.
Ironically, Joey, if we did your tiebreaker, Miami would be in the conference title game.
And we're not having this conversation at all. Because as we said at the beginning of the show, Miami is the best team in the conference.
Correct.
So let them play for the conference championship. Fine.
Done.
It's also dumb. It's also dumb. And it's like, I love this sport, but man, this was We mentioned Georgia Tech selling the rivalry game because they had to. There was this crap. There was the Sarkisian stuff. There's been all the Lane Kiffin stuff. We got news, by the way, since we're talking about Virginia a little bit, they're going to play NC State in Rio de Janeiro here in like a
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
By the way, the NFL played a game there last year. They were actively advising players don't leave the hotel and telling them don't bring your families because it's not safe here. But yeah, let's just send Virginia and NC State down there to go play a game. Yeah, why the hell not?
Let's send a bunch of college kids there to somewhere that's not safe. Let's do that and see how that goes.
This sport has been and by the way, the Lane Kiffin thing, so much of the anger has been his team's going to the playoff and he's going to abandon them. Isn't John Summerall also leaving Tulane? We don't know what that's going to look like. They might be playoff bound. And also, Kalani Sitake's team is still active, and he's hot and heavy in this Penn State search. And there's another one that was escaping me now that I was thinking about earlier. Like, Bob Chesney's leaving James Madison. That James Madison team that might get in if Duke were to win. He's taking the UCLA job. What are we doing?
And some of these coaches are sticking with their teams through the playoff. And I think the funny thing to me is, like, I don't need to do the whole ESPN CAA rant with Saban and Kirk Herbstreit essentially sucking off a CAA client on national television. We don't need to do that whole song and dance right now. But the one thing that I think is really apparent to me and is the differentiator between the Lane Kiffin situation and these other coaching hires where they have to decide if they're going to stick around or coach their school through the playoff is that LSU is a rival of Ole Miss. Keith Carter, the Ole Miss athletic director, is right. Lane Kiffin shouldn't be coaching the playoff, Joey. Shouldn't be coaching the playoff. You're going to a conference rival. Scott Van Pelt had a great analogy for it. I saw a clip of it this afternoon. Said last night on SportsCenter, he was talking to Reese Davis. Said last night on SportsCenter, it's like, it's almost like, hey, you tell the kids that you're divorcing their mom and you're going to go hang out with the neighbor down the street.
Who the mom hates.
That Scott Van Pelt said, who the mom hates, but you're still going to hang out. You're still going to be around and all together for Christmas, but we're going to just wait till after Christmas to do the divorce. Scott Van Pelt's like, no, like Ole Miss is in the right. They should tell Kiffin to take a hike. And the craziest report I saw was that he was trying to decide on like staffing and players and who to take with him to LSU while he was in the Ole Miss building. Tell him to get the fuck out. Like, what are we doing? It's crazy to me. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm replying to a comment here.
And by the way, the college football calendar, like I do agree with Lane Kiffin, and these aren't mutually exclusive things. Like I agree. The college football calendar is a disaster. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, Lane Kiffin cannot have his cake and eat it too. He's been dragging this thing, he dragged this thing out forever. I don't want to turn this into a Lane Kiffin podcast, but like drag that coaching search out forever. Hey, by the way, John Summerall, Tulane beat Charlotte. My sickos picked in.
Quietly came out, I think, while I was in church on Sunday morning. Like,
I mean, he said on Saturday after they beat Charlotte, he was like, yeah, I mean, there are some opportunities that presented themselves. I'm going to talk to the athletic director and I'll let you guys know. And that was it. That's like the only comments he's made about these coaching searches. Now he's the coach at Florida. Okay, done. Alex Galesh, he coaches on Saturday night and then signs with Auburn at 1 a.m. Okay, done. See you guys later. And then puts out a nice statement and whatever. Okay. You don't have to do like national television hits and tweeting from your personal account about, oh, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? I mean, Kiffin, this was made for TV for Kiffin.
Turning your home into an Airbnb for Marty Smith to do live TV reports for days on end.
That
like
poor
he was
guy,
being held
man.
hostage.
Marty Smith's getting like crumbs and water.
Yeah. Fix the calendar. Fix the conferences.
Fix the tie breaks, for the love of God.
I will be stunned and beside myself disappointed if the tiebreaker situation does not get fixed this offseason for the ACC, because this is such wild egg in the face situation. There's no way that Jim Phillips can get away with not fixing this in the offseason. Like, he will be held to the fire, especially if it all comes to roost and Duke does win this game on Saturday. That will be just the ultimate thing for the conference. So anyways, we've gone for a while on this. I think I got all my talking points out. I don't remember my full rant to myself in the shower the other night, but I think I got it all out. Yeah.
Well, then we'll just leave the ranting in the shower alone. Hunter Simons made this comment, and if this is true, which this is the first I'm hearing of this, if this is true,
it's not. I saw some conflicting reports, and the problem is that we had to confirm whether or not it was a conference game.
Is it a conference? Is UVA NC State a conference game next year?
I saw that it was confirmed that it is a conference game.
Okay. All right.
But everyone's right that we had to confirm it, which there's one word I can think of to describe that.
Yeah, I was going to say the fact that we even had to do that in the first place is crazy.
Yeah, the Brazil game is an ACC game.
So we'll make our betting picks on a show later this week, but what do you want to happen?
I want Virginia to win. This conference has enough of a reputation that I struggle to defend with, my SEC and Big Ten buddies anyways. Like,
there has to be an ACC team in the playoff, and I think UVA is the best opportunity to make that happen. Sorry, Miami. That's a whole separate rant.
Yeah.
But Duke winning the title game and the conference being left out would just be like chef's kiss to it even getting to this point. And it would force the hand, and Phillips might change the tie breaks anyway, but it would really force his hand if Duke found a way to win this game, and then the conference was left out of that sweet TV money, by the way, from the college football playoff.
And honestly, that's the thing that might get Jim Phillips fired, is the fact that the conference and all these schools would lose out on playoff TV money because of this stupid tiebreaker system. So,
yeah. Good rant.
Yeah, I feel just the slightest bit better. Not that much better, but a little bit.
Yep.
Let's go elsewhere. Should we do the other kind of semi-close game from the weekend?
Sure.
Let's go to Friday. Number 4, Georgia 16. Numbers 23, Georgia Tech 9. Again, ugly game, rock fight kind of situation. Neither team I felt like looked all that great. It was funny to me a little bit thinking back on it, because in the lead up to this game, there was a good amount of talk I heard from Atlanta media on both of these quarterbacks are Heisman candidates, and this is going to be a big showdown between these two quarterbacks, and whichever one wins probably going to New York. I thought both of these quarterbacks looked pretty rough in this game.
Yeah.
Haynes King did not have his best game. He missed a few opportunities, a few throws. He had the interception early here. Wasn't great. Georgia Tech could not get anything going in the run game. Gunnar Stockton did not look comfortable, did not look good all game. He completes 11 passes for 70 yards. I might throw him in for the Kobe Bryant Memorial Volume Shooter of the Week award, just because I want to do that. Lots of run game back and forth between these two teams. Ultimately, I think 69 carries. Nice. In this game. But neither one got past 260 yards of offense. So, and Georgia Tech, if you go back and look at some of the post-game stats, Georgia Tech won success rate by a substantial margin. They had a 65% post-game win expectancy on SP+.
Yep.
Again, this was a similar thing. Comes down to finishing the drill and finishing drives. And they just kind of weren't quite able to do that in a number of these situations. So they did have a Hail Mary throw at the end of the game, had a chance to potentially tie it and send it to overtime. Had a receiver who got legit full-on tackled to the ground with the ball in the air. Nobody's calling that. Not sure why they would.
Yep.
And while I'm on that note, ACC officials in this game, not the reason that Georgia Tech lost. They had, I already talked, they couldn't get the run game going. They couldn't finish drives, had a lot of problems. ACC officials didn't help them. Had a drive, kind of got into field goal range, stalled out with a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Keelan Rutledge. that nobody's really sure what he did. There was no replay, nor was there any mention on the broadcast of what he did, what he might have said. Who the hell knows? That's 15 yards. Now you're out of field goal range and you're punting after 3rd and 17 instead of having 3rd and 2 and potentially getting into the red zone. Yeah. Lot of stuff happened here. I'm not even mad. I'm way more mad about the ACC's conference championship game situation than I am about this. Like, this is, I don't know, kind of what I've come to expect year after year is just some version of disappointment in this game.
The only thing I was mad about, I mean, it's a fair question. When are we going to talk about our triple barrel lock?
The thing so the triple barrel lock here was the over, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that you were correct. Yeah.
And the total was 59.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way that I can answer this question is I tweeted it out. If you have a winning ticket on an alt line of under 27.5 in this game, which I don't even know if casinos were giving that out. I'm just saying, like, for a game where the total is almost 60 and you come out with less than half of that.
Yeah.
You're giving yourself away as a time traveler. Okay. Like, this is like a Back to the Future situation. Like, there's no way you could have known that this game was going to play out the way that it did. And by the way, Georgia Tech's defense, who has looked god awful against 3 worse offenses the prior 3 games,
they've been terrible.
Now all of a sudden can figure out how to tackle and fit the run and like everything's great. I don't know where any of that came from. This was stunning to say the least.
Gunnar Stockton was so bad here.
He was super out of sorts.
Oh, he was horrible. Georgia Tech running the ball, horrible. Horrible. That's their entire offense. I mean,
they couldn't block Georgia's front.
No. I mean,
somewhat of a talent thing, somewhat of a scheme thing. I think that they were blitzing and sending guys from angles and just couldn't really adjust to it.
7 tackles for loss for Georgia, only finished with 1 sack, but Haynes King was running for his life a lot. Like you said, they really just couldn't block the front in the run game or the passing game. Just an ugly game. Really just an ugly game. The thing I was most frustrated about was that we didn't even sniff. That bet was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
The over. That was the thing I was most frustrated about.
But a valid question, by the way. We don't walk away from our triple barrel locks.
No, I mean, I was excited about the sound, the triple barrel sound on the preview that Scott had teed up. I was like, oh, okay. We got that locked up. Perfect. What a mess.
Not fun. Not fun. Again, I don't know if there was this was close and it was, again, kind of a slog. It was a relatively low possession situation, by the way. And that's some of what holds down the yardage totals and all that. I will say, so one of the great things about this game and this rivalry and many rivalries anyways, is you tweet out some things after the game or during the game that aren't really really meant to denigrate the other team. You're more just talking about things that your team is struggling with. And then all these like dumbass new Twitter accounts start coming at you like, well, who won the game? And well, that's 8 in a row. And like, and it first of all, just the block button got a real workout Saturday night and Friday night. And I feel great about it. First of all, second of all, for all the people coming at me saying, well, it was a short week of prep and Kirby's just getting ready for the SEC championship game. Number one, when this game ended, you weren't in the SEC championship game. Number
Correct.
2, you're right. Short week. And honestly, I'm impressed that Georgia was able to play at all, was able to field a full team and get on the field after their total close slobber knocker 60-minute affair against Charlotte the previous week. That was an impressive get-back game here from Georgia that they were able to make it happen at all. So credit to them for getting ready to play. Proud of them. This game
Jackets
sucked.
covered. Yeah, the game did suck.
Yeah.
Jackets covered.
They did. Yet again.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
That's right. Maybe one of these days we'll get over the hump. Oh, by the way, referee thing. Georgia went for it on a 4th down, somewhere in the second half, I think. Might have been the drive that it was the drive. They ended up kicking a field goal to go up 10. They went for it on 4th and 1 at their own 34-yard line, handed it off to the right, got tackled. It was close. And the officiating crew, shout out to them, gave him the first down. Brent Key challenged it. And it is unusual, I feel like, these days that coaches actually get the chance to challenge. Like anything close is going to get reviewed themselves. Brent Key challenges it. I liked the challenge because if they don't get it and it on replay, it kind of didn't look like they did.
It looked like he was about a half yard short. Yeah.
And he challenges it. You get charged the timeout, but it's like if you got the ball back there, you're now in field goal range down, I think, a touchdown. Like you got a chance to do something there. Referee goes over, puts the headset on. Guy in the booth is like, yep, it's he got to the first down. We good? Okay, move on. Like it was like one of the fastest reviews I've ever seen for something that to me was like, how do we know? Are you sure? Like he sure looks like he might be short. But you know, this is how things go in this game. I'm used to it by now. It's fine.
It was just an unfortunate circumstance there in the second half for EJ.
Yeah, and you know, I'm used to it. Sorry if this has been a very disjointed recap. I'm trying to remember things that happened like 3 days ago, and
it's fine. Part of it's my fault.
Don't blame you. I don't blame anything. It's fine. Anything else here?
No.
Should probably tell the people where I got my hoodie. It's pretty sweet.
Let's tell them about that.
Section103.com. Use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. All sorts of fantastic Georgia Tech apparel. I'm like struggling to speak words right now. All sorts of fantastic Georgia Tech apparel, official word marks, the official Tech Gold, all officially licensed. It is high quality, super comfy. I love this hoodie. I got another one in the darker gray that I just got. I've been wearing it ever since it showed up. I love it. Highly recommend it. It'll keep you warm. It is super comfy. Actually, part of where I had to start wearing the dark gray one before I usually even washed it was because my wife had stolen this hoodie from me and was wearing it around because she loves all the soft stuff that Section 103 makes. Go find it all there. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, things for men, women, children, babies, something for the whole family. Go find it all. Section103.com. One more time, use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. They've got stuff from LSU, Kennesaw State, and Georgia Southern. Go check them out. Shout out to Steven and the gang. Appreciate their support as always. If you need some gifts for Georgia Tech fans in your life, or LSU, or Kennesaw State, or Georgia Southern, go get it all. Section103.com.
LSU needs a lot of stuff with the new coach and everything else.
I bet he'll be printing some stuff.
I'm wearing a Fight Childhood Obesity sweatshirt that I received as part of an Orange Theory workout a few years ago. The reason why I bring that story up is because my buddy called me, that this was like a year and a half ago, called me and said, "What are you doing?" Like, he FaceTimed me. I was like, "I'm picking up dinner." It's like, "Where are you at?" I said, "Five Guys." He goes, "You're Five Guys wearing a Fight Childhood Obesity sweatshirt?" I said, "Yes." Turns out I am. I
Confirmed.
Didn't even think about that and how ridiculous that must have looked. Anyway.
Awesome.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Chef's
well
kiss.
Well done. Well done.
No doubt about it.
All right. Should we go to the ranked matchup of the day?
Yes, let's do that.
Number 12, Miami 38. Number 22, Pittsburgh 7. Again, good showing from Miami here. Really impressive the way that, especially that their defense was able to just kind of smother Pitt's offense for a lot of this game. Pitt ends up with 229 total yards of offense. Scored a little bit early, but obviously was not able to get in a whole lot of rhythm. Really good from Miami. I was going to say, too, by the way, Pittsburgh's defense, they gave some effort to try to keep this one close. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're struggling. Some of the struggle, though, was something we've seen from Pat Narduzzi defenses from time to time is there was some loss of focus and some really dumb mental errors and penalties in this game.
Bad penalties.
Yeah.
Some really drive extending penalties. I thought Pitt did a relatively good job against the run here in this game. Obviously, Pitt was in this game early and they got away from him a little bit. But I thought the defense was actually hanging in there more than what the final score would indicate. I mean, a very good win for Miami. A very good win. I mean, to go on the road, a Pitt team that's good, because this is a good Pitt team. Like, they didn't play their best game, obviously. It struggled offensively. I thought Miami's defense played well here. But a good Pitt team that's had a good year. I mean, you're finishing 8-4, but, you replace your quarterback late September. If he was starting the year, I think you have at least one less loss. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good year for Pitt. But, yeah, this was a excellent win for Miami, who is the best team in the ACC, and for my money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you look at the games that Miami has lost. They lost by 3 to a Louisville team who I think is better than their final record would tell you, at least at the time they played that game, for sure.
Yeah.
And they lost in overtime on the road to an SMU team that should be in Charlotte. Like,
And because you lost those 2 games, you're not going to be in the playoff.
Yep.
And I get the frustration, and I have now come around on this. The more that I've just looked at the analytics, looked at how close Notre Dame, the arguments Notre Dame and Miami. Miami won the head-to-head. I get it. But I look at, you look at strength of schedule, strength of record, Sagarin, FPI. Notre Dame is, I know they're close. Notre Dame's ahead in every single one. So now you're going to look at, okay, who are your losses to, right? Miami obviously beat Notre Dame. We're going to scream that from the heavens. And I think that's a valid argument. The head-to-head is a very valid argument. But then when
I can think of one less advanced metric that Miami's ahead on.
But
it's called the scoreboard, Mike.
But then you look at Miami losing to Louisville. You look at how Louisville finished. We'll get to the Louisville Kentucky game, but you look at how Louisville played in the month of November, and then you look at how SMU just performed in the final week of the season against a Cal team that they should have beaten.
Really didn't help.
Those losses don't help you when. And by the way, I don't even think the argument should be between Notre Dame and Miami. I think the argument actually should be between like Alabama and Miami. Because I'll tell you what, Joey. If Alabama loses the SEC title, I know we're not supposed to be kicking teams out of the playoff for conference title game losses, but Alabama barely got home against Auburn. And if they lose the conference title game to Georgia, which I think they definitely can.
Yeah.
And Georgia wins that game by like a couple touchdowns, I think Miami should get in over Alabama. Alabama, they've got their fair share of wins that certainly props their resume up. But that Florida State loss is horrendous. It's the worst loss of any I put that up team against any playoff team. I mean, I think that is by far the worst one.
Yeah.
And if we are going to dismiss Miami's result against Notre Dame, right? Are we also dismissing Alabama's opener when they lost the game? I mean, Miami won the game against Notre Dame. We're kind of dismissing it.
Yeah.
Alabama lost the opener. Are we just gonna to a bad Florida State team that didn't make a bowl game? Are we just gonna shove that to the side too? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
that's the thing I've been kind of tossing around in my head is Miami is in last week's playoff rankings was at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start kind of working it out, you basically have to get to 10 to get into the playoff, because again, I think there's probably going to be 2 conference champions from outside of that range. So if you want an at-large spot, you need to probably be at about the 10 mark. So like, what does that look like? The nice thing is that 10 and 11, Alabama and BYU both play this weekend.
Yeah.
Have a chance to lose. Now, the downside is what we've said and what other people have said is the committee doesn't want to penalize participation in a conference championship game, because then that discourages conferences from having conference championship games, and that makes a lot of money, and that's really what matters in this sport anymore. So that's kind of the important thing here. But it's like it's not out of the question. BYU lost to Texas Tech, and it really wasn't that close here a few weeks ago. Like Texas Tech dominated that game,
kind of beat
from
that
start
ass.
to finish.
Now you got your coach interviewing for jobs across the country.
Yep.
In a week of prep, and could it happen again? Absolutely could.
Yeah. So then the question becomes, if they lose to Texas Tech for a second time, and then Alabama loses to Georgia, who they already beat, by the way, and that's probably the bigger wrinkle in the whole thing is Alabama has the win over Georgia. Does the committee want to invalidate that, take the SEC team out, and put the ACC team in? That seems likely. Seems really likely. I'm sure they will. They'll do the right thing.
They always have.
They always have, Mike. They always have. I
think Miami should make the playoff.
I agree. I think they should. What are they, 8th, 9th in SP Plus right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should absolutely make the playoff. Everybody likes to make the argument Notre Dame hadn't really beaten anybody. Then you look at their strength of schedule and all these metrics, they're comparable to Miami. Miami's got the head-to-head. You can't have one without the other. I think it also matters when you lose, unfortunately, right? And that's clear that people care about that when you lose.
Yeah.
Notre Dame started the year 0-2, and they've won 10 in a row, and they're kicking the piss out of everybody. And they were in the title game last year, and they're Notre Dame. They're a brand. They're never going to tell you that. Not that Miami's not a brand, by the way. Miami's definitely a brand, and but that stuff matters.
Yeah.
So, I've come around on the idea that Notre Dame gets put in over Miami despite the head-to-head. I've come around on that a little bit more, but
For the record, I hate it.
I still think Miami should be in the playoff, though.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
do.
The one thing I will mention from 2 years ago, when we were yelling about Florida State deserved to be in the playoff over Alabama, was the argument at the time was you have 3 undefeated conference champions. And that was, I forget who the SEC champion was at that point. Might have been Alabama. I think it was like Ohio State, or no, it was Michigan, whoever it was. Florida State was one of 3 undefeated conference champions. And then 4 and 5, because we still had 5 power conferences at the time, it was Texas and Alabama. Those were both 1-loss conference champions. Texas had beaten Alabama in week 1. Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
You got 3 undefeated power conference champions and one that has a head-to-head win over the other one. And there's your playoff. Like, at some point, head-to-head has to matter. We can speculate all we want of who's better between Miami and Notre Dame. And unfortunately, it was week 1. It wasn't, week 13 that they played or whatever.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we only get to see these teams play 12 games a year against, one of 136 teams or whatever there are now in the country. Like, when it just happens to work out that you played one of the other very top teams in the country, whichever one wins, like, that's gotta be, it's got to be something that we consider. So
this is also another high water mark for my argument that we shouldn't even have a 12-team playoff. It should be 8 teams, and then neither one of these teams would be in. We wouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, if you've been huffing whatever Danny Cannell has been huffing for 3 or 4 days now, you'd think we need to go to 24 teams, and that'll solve all our problems. You want to talk about making it worse?
I would.
You talk about stupid in college football. Like,
we only get 12 data points, and we know less about these teams than ever because they're not, some of them aren't playing the others in their own conference that would give us information about whether or not the teams are actually good. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, Miami should be in the playoff. Official podcast stance?
Yes.
There we go. I like it. All right.
I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be.
I'll be a little bit surprised if they are. Can kind of see a path.
I can see a path.
don't expect the committee to do it.
I don't either, but I see a path.
That's more of a committee issue.
I think we're wish casting Miami jumping Notre Dame. Like if I got some beachfront property to sell you in, like, I don't know, let's name a Midwest state, Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Let's do Iowa.
That'll work.
Yeah, if they didn't do it yet, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, extremely unlikely.
I think we're wish casting that. Miami's path to get in is BYU getting smoked in the title game.
Yeah. Yep. We got a few days left, and then we'll find out.
I can't wait for the ranking show Tuesday night. I'm not watching it. I haven't watched a single one of them yet. I'm not watching that either.
You don't join all of the rest of us and watch it like appointment viewing, and I don't watch it either.
No, I can't endorse them doing this every week and turning it into more of a TV product than it has to be. I can't endorse it, as you know.
I've said before, having to be on that show and talk about this stuff several weeks in a row for like an hour at a time is like my personal hell. I want no part of that. That sounds horrible.
No, thank you.
So, yeah. Anyways, Miami 38, Pittsburgh 7. We can probably speed run a lot of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say little temple run action.
Yeah, we can do that. Louisville 41, Kentucky nothing. This was impressive from Louisville. They were fired up and ready to go in this game. Jeff Brom had a couple of really good play calls. They had a long touchdown pass on a 4th and 1 that Kentucky's defense just completely bit down on. They had 2 running backs go for 100 yards. And when I say running backs, I'm going to get this wrong, but one of these is a 5th string. It might be a walk-on, and the other one is actually a wide receiver. Braxton Jennings and Sean Boykins Jr. I didn't prep enough to know which one is which, but all I know is that this is the least likely tandem of 100-yard rushers I think I've ever seen in a game on this podcast. That was crazy the way that happened, and super cool, and a great day for Louisville in their home stadium, just putting it on the Wildcats.
Brighter days ahead for Kentucky under Will Stein,
maybe. First time head coach. Who knows?
First time head coach in the SEC. What could go wrong?
I was gonna say, they call Kentucky a great job. They don't call it an easy one.
It's only great because they have money.
And a basketball team.
They really just have money to pay the coaches, not for anything else.
Yeah. And they just need a distraction until you get to November, and then it's fine. Really, really good from Louisville here. Nice strong finish after they had really stumbled over the prior weeks here in November. So good for them. Good to get a win against the SEC here.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of, Clemson 28, South Carolina 14. Again, kind of a slower slog of a game, we'll say, but Clemson able to put this one out of reach in the second half. After a 14-14 tie was broken with about a minute left in the first half, Clemson kicks a field goal, and South Carolina never scored again. So good for the Tigers. Get the win here. South Carolina going to miss a bowl game, which is kind of shocking given where they were about a year ago this time. 422 yards for South Carolina turns into 14 points. Yikes.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Also, Lenora Sellers is definitely not going to be their quarterback next year, and Shane Beamer is making absurd statements about the 2026 season that I'm not sure he can cash. So, talking about how they're going to be he made a comment a few weeks ago about how they're going to be in the playoff at this point next year, and now he's talking about when they beat Clemson at this stage next year, they'll be looking forward for what's to come. Just making absurd remarks for a middle of the road NIL bag in the SEC, and a coach that is proven to have like one good year, is caught lightning in a bottle with a quarterback nobody could prepare for, and otherwise has been pretty mediocre. So
yep,
he's going to be a great analyst somewhere in about 18 months, maybe in 12 months. Going to be a great analyst somewhere making like $75,000 a year.
Probably Blacksburg.
Cashing the buyout money. Probably Blacksburg.
Yeah.
With open arms.
Yeah, it turns out he's not Steve Spurrier. It's not that easy to win at South Carolina.
Turns out.
Boston College 34, Syracuse 12. When what was your favorite 5-minute segment of this game, Mike, as you sat down and watched through the whole thing?
My favorite 5-minute segment was when I was trying to find what the final score was to see if Syracuse cashed a team total under. That was my favorite 5-minute segment.
If we're all being really honest, this game was tied at 6 at halftime. And it was all like, what is happening in the Carrier Dome? And then Boston College came out of halftime and hit the gas as they ended up putting this away. It was 34-6 with about 9 minutes left in the game. So credit to Boston College. They get another win. They start the season with a win. They end the season with a win. We don't have to talk about anything that happened in between.
Bookending 8 consecutive losses. But the good news is that Boston College did not finish in the cellar in the ACC. They actually won the tiebreaker over Syracuse.
Right. They have the head-to-head, Mike, as we've talked about. It's important.
Speaking of Syracuse, Fran Brown fired like his entire staff this afternoon.
Yeah, it was the staff's fault. Staff's fault.
If there's one guy that Joey hates more than Dave Doran, it's Fran Brown.
I don't hate Fran Brown. Hate's not the right
strong word. Hate's a
it's
strong
not the right word. Yeah. I'm a Fran Brown skeptic.
You're excitable. You're excited about his potential demise.
It won't chap my ass. I'll say
it won't chap. It won't chap your ass. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So,
you don't think he should be in play at like Penn State, for example?
Some of the people talking about it like, is Fran Brown a candidate for something? I'm like, look, if you think that this is the solution to your problems, more power to you. Again, I'm a skeptic. I don't know. Not sure I'm buying it.
I think we're at the point in the Penn State search where they could do worse than Fran Brown. I think that's where we're at.
Yikes. Yikes. They got some people with much better track records lined up, we'll say.
They are now on their 17th choice because they kept getting coaches extended and or hired elsewhere.
I will say this. I mean, again, I had my questions about the repeatability of what Syracuse did last year. And then they started this year off hot. And then Steve Angeli gets hurt.
Yeah.
And the entire thing goes to hell in a handbasket immediately. And on some level, I get losing your quarterback. It's not easy to replace him, whatever. But man, you got to be able to, do the whole back and forth with Ricky Collins and Joe Filardi. And did you that badly misevaluate Ricky Collins that he just can't play at all? Do you just not want? Does the team hate him? What?
Right.
I don't know what exactly happened here because just because your starting quarterback goes down, it shouldn't be this bad.
I think Fran Brown, we got to give him some time to maybe recruit some depth there. But what I think the actual I don't mean depth at quarterback specifically. I just mean depth in general for the rest of the roster kind of fall apart. But at quarterback specifically, I think they swung and missed on Ricky Collins. And then if you swing and miss on Ricky Collins as your backup, then you're now picking between a lacrosse player and then a true freshman fourth stringer that we saw a week ago.
And I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that that they should have hit on Ricky Collins. That's not. Are they recruiting high school that much? This is the second straight transfer heavy team. That's not how you recruit depth to your program.
How much?
I don't even know if he's doing that.
I guess the counterpoint is at a place like Syracuse, you probably need to hit the portal a little bit more than high school, just considering the caliber of player you're going to be able to get in the Northeast, which is predominantly where Syracuse has to recruit from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing to consider.
Yeah.
But I am also in agreement with you that you'd rather build from high school and supplement with the portal than just try to continuously flip portal classes, because then you get at best, right? You get what Florida State did a couple of years ago. Most times you get a 7 or 8 win team, which is what Braum is doing at Louisville with portal heavy rosters pretty much every year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole difficulty in recruiting high school players to Syracuse brings us back to the thing we've talked about for the entirety of this 10 years of podcasting, right? It's like,
it's a hard job, man.
Yeah.
It's really hard. That's why we don't see a lot of guys succeed there.
Yep.
Dino was there forever. And
had like one great year.
That was it.
Yep.
Pre-portal. That was like a miracle.
Yep. Wonder what Boston College is going to do.
What are they going to do?
I mean, they're going to run it back with Bill O'Brien, but he can fire his own staff too. Like,
I was going to say, they're not firing Bobo.
Wouldn't blame them if they did. Boston College 34, Syracuse 12. Florida 40, Florida State 21. Noles are done. Man, look, we got the announcement that they're going to run it back with Norvell. We got that before this game.
Reluctantly.
Man, I feel like he has completely lost. And I say the locker room, they're going to transfer in a bunch more guys next year. It'll be a new locker room, but like, this feels like this is a like stuff has gotten into the walls situation where you have to basically flush the whole thing to have any chance of getting this back. Like Florida State, this has gone so far south so fast. They're what, 7-17 since they missed, or sorry, 7-18 since the 13 or the 12, 13-0 team was announced to miss the playoff. That's insane.
Right. Yeah. They need that buyout number to go down. Then they'll get rid of him.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a pretty mediocre tenure. They had one obviously outstanding year, but outside of that, it's been a lot of garbage. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of bookended a really unbelievable year with a bunch of garbage. He's basically doing what Dino Babers did at Syracuse, except he's doing it at Florida State, so it's a lot worse.
Yep.
More expensive too, by the way.
To me, it's okay to lose to this Florida team just in a vacuum. Like, I realize that they were 3-8, but like,
it's a comparable opponent.
Defense is good. They're a reasonably talented roster
on the road.
Struggled in some close games on the road, all that stuff. That's fine. But again, my eyes tell me this team was not playing all that hard.
No.
So see what this looks like next year. NC State 42, North Carolina 19. Just to clarify, and I mentioned this back in the comments, we had a commenter who jumped in earlier who said, how dare you pick North Carolina in this game? Dave Doran's won, 9 out of 13, something like that. Like, just to clarify, we picked North Carolina to cover 7.5 as an underdog. We did not pick them to win the game.
Correct. Nobody did. Yeah, no. Nobody did, just to be clear. Yeah.
Good showing from NC State, though, running out to scoring 42 points on what this North Carolina defense has been doing. Like, it's impressive showing from them.
Yeah, that's how you make sure that your head coach keeps his job for a 14th season.
Yeah, that's right. As he should. As is good for NC State.
Yeah, as good friend and supporter of the NC State Wolfpack, and specifically Dave Doran, Joey Weaver would say that they should keep him. Absolutely.
Absolutely they should. How can you get rid of a guy? 7-5 after the way they started?
Look,
strong finish.
I was going to... If I had to go down to like name a list of people who would go to bat for Dave Doran, you would certainly be on there somewhere.
I would be on that list at some point.
I can't say you'd be at the top, but like if we had to make a list, like I'm sure if I had to like jot somebody's name down, you'd be on there at some point. I'm like, he's an ACC football fan, he'd be on there. But yeah.
Hey, you know what? His team beat my team. What can I say?
What can you say?
What can I say?
His team beat Virginia.
He did.
Virginia's in the ACC title game.
Yeah, they beat fellow ACC team Virginia that only lost one conference game. So that they were the one that beat Virginia, right? Right? That's how that works.
I'm so glad that game was a non-con game, aren't you?
Yeah. That was the one thing that I did hear that I hadn't really thought about. I think it might have been Cover 3 Saturday night that was like, Can the conference just point at that and say, actually, now that is a conference game, we got to get someone out of this conference championship game and use that as a reason to insert someone else? Like, and yet that's not even taking out the team that you want to take out. But
yeah.
Anyways,
the whole conference game thing not being a conference game is on my list of things I would tell an alien from outer space if they came here to observe college football for the first time. Oh, we also do this thing that's really cool.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
Cool's not the right word, but something. It's something.
Last one, number 9, Notre Dame 49, Stanford 20. Again, I think an honorable effort here from Stanford. And Stanford's got a head coach. We'll talk about that probably on the preview. We'll have some more time. And there are some early opinions on that hire, but again, we'll get to that. They hired Tavita Pritchard, former offensive coordinator under David Shaw, and current Washington Commanders quarterbacks coach.
Hail.
We will discuss that.
Stanford did cover by virtue of a touchdown pass thrown by Stanford quarterback something Meyer, the son of former Notre Dame quarterback Rick Meyer.
There you go.
So how's that full circle?
And the Cardinal gets over 8.5 points in this game.
They do, unfortunately.
Significant to some.
Charlie Meyer, significant to some, including me. Thank you, Stanford Football Updates, Charlie Meyer. I closed out the box score.
By the way, only other significant moment here. Jeremiah Love got a little bit nicked up in this game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, ruined his Heisman campaign.
Yeah.
Because he was going to run for like 400 yards if he didn't get hurt. So,
well, 66 on 14 carries. He wasn't quite off to the races the way that he was against Syracuse a week or two ago. But
yeah, he was early, and then he looked like he lost half a step after doing whatever he did to his ribs.
He was pretty banged up in the playoffs last year, too. So this is not a timely situation for him.
Good news, rib generally heals a little bit better than whatever the hell that knee thing was.
That's true. The knee thing that he could like barely walk, but also somehow pulled off that hurdle in was that the Orange Bowl against Penn State, I think?
The hurdle, but then also the ridiculous goal line run where like he basically couldn't walk, but he fought through like 5 defenders to goal line to get in the end zone.
Yeah. All to say, he's pretty good.
Yeah, probably the top running back off the board in April.
I'd be okay if he were on my football team.
Yeah.
Falcons have way bigger needs than running back, obviously, but I
wouldn't say Bijan's been the problem.
No, the Falcons got that covered. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's all I got on games. Do we want to give some awards?
Yeah, I got a good one to start with.
Let's do it. Go ahead. You're up.
The Mike Pence Memorial You Had a Courage Award goes. That still hits, doesn't it?
It does.
You Had the Courage Award goes to Fran Brown for, after having one bad year, firing all his assistants. Congratulations, Fran Brown.
Outstanding. The Go ACC moment of the week is Duke made the ACC championship game.
I mean, without a doubt. There's no close seconds. If you try to debate it, you're wrong. That is it.
The Brian Van Gordon Memorial You Tried Award goes to SMU, who tried not to screw it up and did.
Who tried to go to the ACC title and instead lost to Cal.
Yeah.
As
also,
a big favorite, by the way.
The ACC in general, tried not to throw up all over itself, and here we are.
The ACC tried to go to the playoff. I can't wait to give this award out next week when Duke wins the ACC title game and doesn't go to the college football playoff. I cannot wait to give this award out.
Yep.
You tried to be one of the 5 highest ranked conference champions.
Yeah, they sure did. They sure did.
Well, stash that in your back pocket.
I'll write that down. The Bobby Petrino Memorial You Didn't Try Award. This is we're thankfully this is the last game from Florida State we had this year because they're about to get retired from this award.
Yeah, I mean we can only give this award out so many times in the same school.
It'll be the Bobby Bowden Memorial You Didn't Try Award.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, the Kobe Bryant Memorial Volume Shooter of the Week Award. I would like to nominate Gunnar Stockton, who
I was going to say, can we do that? Can we do a non-ACC player for this one? Because I think Stockton is the winner.
It's an ACC game as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I mean, Haynes King, not a great game, but Gunnar Stockton, yikes. People want to say, "Oh, well, yeah, they didn't really actually want to throw the ball." Well, they tried to throw it 21 times, and he came up with 70 yards.
Yeah,
he did have a touchdown, but he had an interception as well. So to that we say, Kobe. Also, 15 carries for 42 yards, non-sack adjusted.
Yeah, not great. I have a candidate. Joe Flaherty.
Yeah.
10 of 18 for 65 yards.
Tried really hard. Kobe.
Yeah. The You Didn't Try award also. This is a fair statement. Phil Montgomery, not giving Pop Watson an opportunity in the UVA game when Virginia Tech quite literally could not complete a forward pass.
Yeah. That was one way to approach that.
Yeah.
Do we have any other unsanctioned awards this week, Mike?
The Queen Elizabeth II Memorial You Died Award goes to SMU because their playoff hopes died. Their conference title hopes died.
In Berkeley. To the most Berkeley possible combo, Nick Rolovich and Brian Harsin.
Holy staff. Holy cow staff.
Real ones will know what the joke on that is. Team of the week. Cal, I guess.
I guess it's Cal.
Or Louisville. Or Duke.
Yeah. Speaking of the You Died Award, Kentucky.
I thought about nominating them for. Yeah. Tough scene there. Player of the week. JKS was nasty here, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. He was very good.
Jaron Chiave Songopalatele.
8 out of 10.
Thank you. Not going to do that many more times this year. I look forward to not having the conversation about can Cal retain JKS in the offseason.
You excited for him to go play for noted quarterback coach Tavita Pritchard at conference and in-state rival Stanford?
Man,
that
want to talk about
that would feed families on the West Coast.
It would.
That
I'm talk
rivalry
about maximizing college football interest. The haters will be out in full force. Yeah, Stanford
football.
Up,
baby.
It's Stanford football updates. Down for it.
Ready.
Understandable.
Excited. I get it. It's been an adventure at that position this year.
Sure has.
It is unfortunate we do have to retire the Benny G sound.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, still might make an appearance for depending on what happens in the conference championship game next week. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, maybe that's Stanford's path to make it to the college football playoff.
It could be. Who's to say? Mike, we're an hour and 33 in. I think I'm good on week 14. Anything else that we forgot?
I haven't slept since Saturday. I went to bed Saturday night at 2:00 and then followed that up by sleeping for like 4 hours last night. So I'm exhausted.
Yeah. So let's get out of here.
I would say, Joey, another, we're not done yet because we got conference championship. We got bowl games.
Correct.
But in a manner of speaking, another year in the books.
It's regular season number 10 in the books. Time flies. Except when you have kids. It sometimes goes really slowly, but it's different.
In words of the Wolf of Wall Street, Joey, and a lot of this is because I love you so much, but I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah.
We'll be back again.
It's all really stupid, Mike. It's stupid and it pisses me off and I love it. And
the sound drops are incredible too. So they keep us coming back, producer Scott.
The sound drops just keep getting better. And Scott just only ever gets more and more in his bag.
I don't care. I'm sick.
Levels of work from producer Scott.
Yep.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. And then the one last thing is I'm looking forward to another offseason of promising more content and just simply not delivering.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a tradition unlike any other around these parts,
it is.
honestly.
Well, we'll record more regularly in the off season. We
Right.
promise. And
This
then
time.
we just don't,
This
because
time for sure.
we go to the beach and we do kid stuff, and
Right. Yeah, we have actual real excuses these days.
Yes.
So anyways, as mentioned, we'll be back. Obviously, we've got a conference championship game to preview. We'll have some bowl announcements and games to preview. So keep it tuned here. A lot of content coming your way. YouTube.com/@the-ACC football podcast. Again, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you go find your podcast in audio format. Share us with your friends. We'd love to have some more people here in the group. We had some great comments tonight. A lot of familiar faces, a few new ones. Glad the people that joined us. Again, we usually this season we've been doing the previews like Wednesday nights. This one, it might be Thursday this week. We'll figure that out. Recaps have usually been Sunday nights, could be Saturday. You want to find out, go hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when we're going live here at youtube.com/@the-ACC football podcast. Audio in your feed for audio specific purposes shortly afterwards.
Yep.
We're on Twitter at FJRSJoey, at Mike McDaniel SI, together at BC Podcast ACC. Send us an email, basketballconferencepodcast@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
Thank you. Mike, anything else?
No, that's it. I'm going to go to bed.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Going to come back and preview the stupid ACC championship game?
Yes, I would.
Let's do that. And again, plenty of other news to discuss in the meantime. So
yeah,
come join us for that.
We'll discuss the college football playoff rankings. That'll be fun.
Can't wait to see what surprises and joy the college football playoff committee has in store for us tomorrow night. All that and more later this week whenever we do the preview.
That'll be awful.
Yeah. Mike, it's been fun. We'll talk to you then.
Has been. We'll talk then. Yep.
All right. Shout out to the people in the comments. Appreciate you joining us tonight. We will talk to you again very, very soon. Until next time, for Mr. Mike McDaniel, I'm Joey Weaver. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Until then, go ACC.